Cammy, I just can't do this anymore,
Oh my gosh, you have to keep doing it.
but I'm tired and it's hard.
I know it's hard, but everything that is worth something you have to work hard for.
But I feel stuck.
You're not stuck. You're just having a slower time moving forward.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. We're talking about sugar freedom. We're talking about being addicted to sugar. We're talking about how hard it is. Welcome to an episode of Dr. Cammy Goes Keto. I'm here with Nikki, and we're talking about how hard it is to stay off of sugar. But you know what? We're doing it. We're doing it. And we might not be perfect, but we're definitely doing more days off than on. And we might not be losing a lot of weight yet, but metabolically, we're getting healthier. I know my labs have shown it recently. And I know that, Nikki's working on ketosis. We're all working on getting into the lower carb lifestyle and getting off of, for me, it's sugar, flour, and caffeine. I'm day 23 today and stringing together quite a few days. I was 30 days and I was 51 days and I was 92 days. And I used to binge every 2 to 3 weeks. So when you look at that, it's not like me stacking up months at a time yet, but it's coming. I know that it's coming.
Yes, definitely. And even though I've had my slip ups and I'm getting back off of the caffeine, which I put, sweeteners, artificial sweeteners in, or, if I had a really bad day, sugar, I'm getting back on track and, not doing that. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to maintain consistency. And whether you're on keto or any kind of eating plan and you're trying to eat healthy, that's the key is consistency, right? Don't aim for perfection, aim for consistency.
The big C.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
the other thing that I think is so important is we were talking about this before we started taping about the word perseverance. And
Yes.
how you do have to persevere and you have to be strong and you have to be willing to have some self restraint. That was another word we were talking about in my OA meeting today about being able to have some self restraint and pause whenever you go to want to crave some sugar or eat something that has sugar in it. And so then when you have that self restraint and you pause, you can pull yourself back a little bit and you have a couple of seconds even just to make a decision about what do I want long term? What am I really up to? What is really bothering me that I'm craving this food right now? What am I angry about? What resentment did I just create that I have to make clean before I go to bed tonight? It allows you to have some time to think about what's really going on with the cravings for the sugar and flour.
And the big question too, before we put that in our mouth, is this worth it? Is it worth it? Because we both know from experience that that thing that is on your tongue for 5 minutes could cost you weeks, months, years. You know what I mean? So is it worth it to get back in the ditch and then stay there for however long? Maybe you're lucky and you're only off track for a day or a week. But for some people that I have known, if they eat one little sugar and flour item like a normal person, they could be gone for years. And
Yep.
and depending on your health and the state of your body, those years could cost you your life. I mean,
Yep.
I don't mean to sound severe, but they could.
Or
Like,
so dramatic, but it's the truth.
it's the truth. Diabetes cuts off limbs and you get infections that never heal. And when it advances to Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, then you've completely lost your mind. And so far they haven't brought people back once they're really bad. So, and I had a grandmother with Alzheimer's, so it's like I know that that can happen and I don't want that. So, yeah, every time that thing is tempting you and then it's in front of you, we have to think long term, like, is this worth it? Is it worth my life?
And I think that's an important place to take a little pause because that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about longevity. We're talking about years off of your life. And one of the other things that we were talking about before we started taping was the importance of group support. And I think that's really key because I'm doing really well now and feeling really strong. And it's because I'm in a lot of things that are supporting group support for me. I'm reaching out to people, I'm calling people I'm trying to touch base with at least 3 people every day. And I'm staying in touch with my, sugar addiction group through school, which I'll put No Sugar Nation. I'll put that link in chat so that you guys can, and or under description or both, so that you guys can go to No Sugar Nation and just hang out in there and look at the community and, join Mike's 30-day sugar detox challenge, which I highly recommend when you're serious about getting off of the sugar, because it is really, really hard to do. And you need to have a lot of support. You need to be sitting in rooms where there's people that understand how you think and feel about sugar. And that happens in the No Sugar Nation group. We have group support meetings that Nikki and I run, along with a bunch of other coaches, to help people stay off of the sugar once you're off.
Yeah. And I've been on, diets and eating plans and all kinds of stuff. You name it, I've tried it, just like a lot of people. And I've been doing this for like 25 years. It does not work without support. Absolutely no. Just book closed, case closed, because there are so many visual cues. There's so many temptations out in the world. There's so many opportunities for sugar to get in your body. And the world does not, like, as Mike says, have any respect for it. It is not looked at as a drug. So people will just tee hee hee and not take it seriously. And so you need a group of people that take it seriously and will support you.
Exactly. And give you strength so that when you go out and you're dealing with all these other situations and people that don't take it seriously, you have the power and the strength to say no and to stay on for me, it's a food plan. I still, I'm doing well with a food plan. And I don't know, I can't lie. I hope that in 10 years, I don't have to keep a food plan. Maybe I will. And if I have to, I will. I mean, I just wake up every morning and I go, hey, it's a good day for me to be on a food plan today. It's a good day for me to reach out. It's a good day to go to a meeting. It's a good day to get on my knees and pray for God to support me in this effort. It's a good day to do all those things. And maybe someday that'll change. But so far that's been working. And yeah, so one day at a time too is another one that really helps me. I mean, just for today, I have to be off of sugar and flour and caffeine. And maybe tomorrow I won't have to, but every morning I wake up and say the same thing, that I do need to be off it, and it's working really well.
Yes, definitely. Because if we think about forever, it's so overwhelming and it feels like too much. And the other thing with the habits and the meal planning, I mean, if we look at it the other way, people who don't meal plan, they kind of do. They just don't realize they do. They eat the same stuff over and over again. It's just that they're not making a conscious plan, but they still eat the same crap in America: hamburgers, hot dogs, tacos, the whole rotation of processed food. They just do it automatically without thinking of it. We're doing it to be healthy and doing the same thing, but we're doing it in a healthy way. So it's just like, our protein, our veggies, our healthy fats. You know what I mean? And we're setting up each meal for success. It's just that we're putting more intention in it so that there's not sugar, and we have to be very careful with the ingredients and whatnot. So either way, life has to be planned. So we might as well be proactive and plan it so that we're safe and keep ourselves safe, because that's what this is really about, right? Like, we all had something, whether it's like psychological pain or physical pain, that brought us to this journey. And for a lot of us, it's both. And
Mhm.
we don't want to be in pain anymore. So the way to get out of pain is to do the things that will get us out of pain and make us feel better long term.
Exactly, and that kinda brings me to the idea of your why, right? Like, thinking about your why when you're in the middle of wanting to go eat something that's not on your plan, that's full of foods that you're not up to. And journaling about it can be really helpful too. Journaling your why. At night I do a 10th step, through my other 12-step work, where we look at the day and we say, where have we been selfish, resentful, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe somebody an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all? What could we have done better? These are the things that I journal about at night. And sometimes I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I just lay in bed. Lately, it's been most times and think about it, but at least I go through the process of thinking about these things and evaluating your day and figuring out, get your slate clean because tomorrow the next day is going to come and stuff is going to keep piling up if you don't keep yourself clean. And then you'll end up with resentment and anger. And those are beautiful things to eat over.
Yes. Yes. And this is a disease of isolation. Any of the addictions are
Absolutely.
diseases of isolation. So as soon as you are alone with your thoughts and not in a good way, to ruminate and to let the negative thinking take over, that's when you start slipping. And like we were talking, that's when the other side will try and pull us back down into the bad stuff. And it's funny, but me and a coworker, we say that literally out loud. We're both, believers, and we'll say, "Not today, Satan.
Uh
Not
huh.
today." And it's so empowering because it's like somebody is trying to pull you back down, and it's just like, "Do you wanna answer that call?" "No, I don't. I'm not good tricks." And, what was that book that I was talking about? And it was, trying to get you to deviate from your focus, and that's what he does, is he tries to get you off of your plan, and focusing on God will keep you on your plan. So,
Yeah. So that brings me to that suggestion. I'll put this in the book Outwitting the Devil,
yes, that's what it
right?
was.
The book
Yes,
that you said that who is it? Hill,
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill wrote this book that never got published about outwitting the devil. And so this woman, I can't remember her name, but she gathered up this book and comments on it throughout. And it's a wonderful book. I'm only about 40 pages in, but it's a very interesting way to look at life.
It is, and it's very interesting to whether he was using the devil as a metaphor or an actual belief system is irrelevant. It's effective. It works because he's having a full-on conversation with the devil and asking him, "What are your tactics? How do you mess with humans so that they aren't successful and so that they fall to the dark side and that they don't accomplish what they want to on this earth and they don't believe that they're enough and they don't believe that they're loved." On and on. And it's just like, man, it gives me chills even thinking about it. Like, because he's famous for that book, Think and Grow Rich. And
Uh-huh.
but people don't know about this one, and I think psychologically it might be even more effective, but, I mean, I love all his books. But yeah, so
Very good. All right. Well, so hopefully we've given you guys like some pointers about how to, stay on the up and up and how to stay abstinent from whatever it is that your abstinence looks like. For me, it's sugar, flour, and caffeine. For Nikki, what is it for you?
it was just sugar and flour. I thought I could keep the caffeine, but I think more than physical, because it doesn't raise my blood sugar or my glucose or anything like that. I think the harder thing for me is, like, going out. It it opens the door for me to ingest products that are sugar-free, but they're not really because they have the fake sugars in them. Because then I'll qualify or I'll say, "Well, it's sugar-free and I can have that." So it just kinda opens the door, that famous how Mike tells us, like, "Have you closed the door or is it still open just like a little crack?" So I feel like the caffeine is a gateway for me to get some sweetness in, whether it's real sugar or the fake sugars. So and that was what held me back, I think, a lot with keto is because those fake sugars are condoned or not condoned, but allowed, I would say. And so you can get really hooked on keeping those in your life, whether it's with a drink or with those little treats that you're allowed and things like that. So yeah, sugar, flour, and caffeine for me too, babe.
All right. So we are on the mend. We are mending our bodies and healing our hearts and our minds. And we are seeing progress. And we are human. So we are generally not perfect. And yeah. So come along. Keep coming on the journey with us.
Yes, hang in there, you guys. It does get easier, and if you're honest and you work hard, you'll get there. We'll all get there.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much, Nikki.
Thanks,
Love
Cammy.
you.
Love you.
Bye.